Y'all ready to blaze away or what?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk to you guys about this special event that happened where Arslan Ash and Jimmy J Tran both battled each other in a 1st to 15. For those of you who don't know who Jimmy J Tran is, this is like one of the best NA players of all time. His history is like known far and wide. He doesn't really compete that much anymore because he kind of like slowed down. A lot of people of his era slowed down, but when he was going, bro, it was magnificent. One of the best things he did before he kind of stopped traveling was he beat Arslan in Tekken 7. When Arslan Ash first showed up, he caught everyone by surprise. He was winning at Evo, I believe it was Evo Japan 2019, 2018. He showed up with the brown jacket and he was destroying everyone. People were so surprised. People didn't even know his name at the time. They were like, this guy is beating everyone. Every single time they did a bracket update, they was like, yeah, that guy, he's still in. He's still winning. And then finally, this is back when tournaments was ran right. Finally, the TOs moved some things around and they put Arslan on stage. And when he got on stage, everyone got to see why that guy was so dominant. He was still beating top players, making his way all the way up the top. And then one of the people who was at Evo Japan as well is Jimmy J Tran. Jimmy J Tran doesn't travel much, but he somehow always finds the time, makes the time to go to Evo Japan and participate in that event. And during that year, one of the people who really stood in Arslan Ash's way was Jimmy J Tran. They fought so tough. That's one of the main matches I remember when I think back on Tekken 7. And it came down to the wire, and Jimmy J Tran really came so close to beating him, but he kind of like dropped it. It kind of like fell through his fingertips. Another person that Arslan fought in that same tournament was AK. AK, for those of you who know, Arslan and AK fought each other at the first year of Tekken 8, and AK won. He won Combo Breaker, a huge pop off. But this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of these guys fought so many times before, and they lost here, lost there, but then sometimes they win. For Jimmy J Tran, since he doesn't travel that much, since he doesn't compete that much, when he does show up, everyone loves to watch. His Brian Fury is one of the best Brian Furies on the planet. I know we have that debate, that discussion, between Lohai, Ni, and then Atif. Atif, during the Tekken World Tour Finals, he refused to play Lohai Brian Fury mirror match, probably because he wouldn't want to use the same character. He knows so much about the character, and he can use another character and leverage that knowledge. To play in a mirror match would give your opponent the same advantage. So it's a strategic thing to not do that, right? And that match between Lohai and Atif was really crazy. Lohai, you had a lot of teabagging going on. You had a little rivalry forming. It's so cool to see all of these players battle and compete for who's the best, but also who's the best Brian. With Arslan Ash recently moving to Japan, it kind of changed the whole entire pro landscape on his head. A lot of people were wondering how will he be able to stay ahead of the curve, because Arslan and the whole entire Pakistani sector, they have their own playstyle. They have like they're kind of closed off from the rest of the world. It's kind of a good thing, but also it's a very bad thing because they can't travel. But since they're closed off from the world, they were able to create their own playstyle, create their own tempo, create their own skill. And when they travel to a tournament, they can like surprise people with that, with their new abilities, with their new characters, with the new things that they learned. But with Arslan moving to Japan, a lot of secrets are going to be gone. Like Arslan has been streaming kind of daily now on Twitch.
Moon Soul Slayer. Thank you, bro. Are you the Twitter guy? Oh, the YouTube guy. I see. Yeah, the only one who's obsessed with me. I wanna see your face, Moon Soul Slayer. How do you look like? Are you a grown man or like in your 20s or in your... Yeah, you're very famous.
And he's been playing a lot of the known pro players all over Japan and all over Korea. He's been hanging out with Rank Chu a lot. This match right here was really cool because when you look at the gameplay, you can see that Jimmy J Tran isn't really like missing a step. He's like still on it, still locked in. He's still cooking. There's times where he's popping taunt jet uppers. There's times where he's like taunt heat smashing. It's a really good matchup. And then also too, seeing Arslan rock the Zafina, he plays so many characters, so many waifus, and he really tries to like pick which character is best for the job and come at you that way. That's one thing about Arslan as well, is that he plays so many characters and he could form a strategy with all of those characters and kind of counterpick you. So if you are a player like Jimmy J Tran, where you're just like a Brian Fury loyalist, you kind of are at a disadvantage because everyone kind of knows what Brian Fury can or cannot do, and it's up to you to like, you know, surprise, to overcome, to put on that performance. And this is the crazy thing about a first to 15. In a first to 15, it's going to come down to who's better over a long duration. All of your patterns, all of your bad habits, especially at that level, will be exposed. I did a first to 25 sudden death match with Joe Crush, and I seen firsthand what some of the best players on the planet can do, how they could pick apart your gameplay, how they can understand that you don't know how to stop this, you don't know how to get out of this, and then now they find new and interesting ways to throw that at you repeatedly. And one thing that's not really visible when you're watching these matches is how unrelenting the pros are. Any mistake, any opening you give, they will swoop in fast and destroy. If you're trying to create space so you can think, create an opening, they will see that, and then they will apply more pressure and weigh you down and give you no opportunity. At this level of play, you really have to like make that opportunity yourself. Evo Japan is going to be the start of the Tekken World Tour Finals. It's going to come right after season 3 like officially starts, the balancing patch release. We're like a month away from that, less than a month now. But with all of these pro players finding new inspiration to play, they're finding new motivation to play, but then also all of these guys are kind of gathering in Japan, kind of like the hub of Tekken. It's really going to shake things up this time around. And also it's going to put an emphasis on the tournaments that take place in Japan, because a lot of the times they have these separate Tekken tournaments, like they have STL and stuff like that, and like me and, you know, iMusician and all those guys kind of participate in it, and people kind of like ignore it for the most part. But with Arslan being there, and now you have Americans traveling over like Jimmy J Tran, it's just really going to change things like I've never seen before. Because we already seen this with Pakistan, where when they showed up, they kind of jumped out ahead. You know, Always Honey, Atif, and Arslan kind of led the charge. And then it took a long time for like Knee and Lohai, Ulsan, for all of these guys to kind of play catch up. But we've seen over the course of Tekken 8, they've done that. Knee has revamped his whole entire playstyle, and now he can win a tournament. Lohai, he just won Tekken World Tour Finals. Rangchu, Ulsan, a lot of these guys, a lot of these Koreans, they have understood the Pakistani gameplay. They've understood their opponent. And then the same thing with Pakistan. We saw the John go on a legendary run all the way through the LCQ and everything to make his way to the top. So with the competition already rising and all of these rivalries already forming, with everyone coming together in Japan and like fighting like this exhibition that we're watching right now, it's going to be crazy. If season 3 really goes back to the basics as well and delivers on the balance that we all are hoping they do, this will only make Tekken even more popular. The potential with beef sets, with competition, all of it is skyrocketing through the roof. And I just want to make this video and make you guys, I just want to make this video and have you guys be aware of some of the great things that's happening. We are seeing Arslan on a daily basis play against a lot of people in long sets. And you even have legends like Jimmy J Tran coming out of nowhere to participate. If you guys want to watch this full first to 15 set, I will link it in the description. It has no commentary, just raw gameplay, but analyze it for yourself and look at how incredible this gameplay is. Like, for example, this match here. Arslan eventually switches to Anna. Now the score is tied up 2-2. And you know his Anna is deadly. I feel like this is season 2 so much right here. The Brian Fury versus Anna. But this is kind of what I was referring to, where if you kind of press against Arslan and he has the opportunity to switch a character, he will. And then once he switches character, now you're going up against a totally different gameplay strategy, from Zafina to Anna, and then I believe even at one point in time he picks Nina. That is a totally different night to day switch over the course of a first to 15. And playing in a first to 10 against someone and have them switch characters mid process, it really does kind of like reset the tempo a little bit, because the mind games and the moves that you were looking for is now gone. And you can see that at these very specific moments when Arslan is like kind of playing with the forced crouch mix-ups that Anna is known for, and he wasn't able to do something like that with Zafina. But even though he's doing that, Jimmy J Tran, being a pro, being a legend, being the skilled player that he is immediately prepared, because this is the thing about that level of play. You don't really get caught off guards by like not knowing the matchup. You don't really get caught off guard by like, you know, stupid flowcharts like a Moonsault Slayer would. You are so locked in to the whole everything, and you have so much knowledge, and it's really just about like finding an opening. The final score for this first to 15 ended up being 15 games for Arslan and 7 for Jimmy J Tran. These two guys fought very, very hard, and you can see with the round count of the final round, it's 2 rounds apiece, and Arslan Ash leveraged the wall to basically lock Jimmy J Tran in place. Jimmy J Tran was trying to side switch with the grab to get out, but Arslan broke the throw and kept him in place. And then by that time, with all the pressure, with all the mechanics that Nina has, Jimmy J Tran was basically like cooked, and Arslan basically played small Tekken, did a little poking, and secured the win. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and bye bye.